Dirtle Magic. Thank you for tuning in to Dirtle Magic. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you like the content you see here today, and leave a like and share the video with someone you might think is interested. Leaving those likes really helps us out, but another way to help us out is by using our TCG Player affiliate link below. If you're looking for singles, sealed product, or gaming accessories, please consider using our link to support the channel. We also have some playmats at inkgaming.com. Go ahead and hit the link in the description to check those out. Alright, let's grab some spells and dirtle with some magic. Hello and welcome back to Dirtle Magic. Today we're playing some Krydle of Baldur's Gate. Looking at our opening hand, we do have 3 lands and a signet. Not any extra real card draw, but we do have some scry with our commander, so not too bad. And we're trying out something a little bit different today. I am doing Specter Tribal. Let's see how this goes. Let's go ahead and keep the hand. Our commander is blue-black for a legendary 1/3 human elf rogue. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player loses 1 life and mills a card, and we gain 1 life and get to scry 1. Whenever we attack, we may pay 2. If we do, target creature can't be blocked this turn. And this is, whenever we attack with anything, he'll trigger, but you don't have to attack with him specifically. Our first opponent is Mogis, God of Slaughter, 2 black-red for a legendary 7/5 enchantment creature god, indestructible. As long as your devotion to black and red is less than 7, it's not a creature, and at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, it deals 2 damage to that player, unless they sacrifice a creature. Mountain into play for them. Our next opponent is Tishana, Voice of Thunder, 5 green-blue for a legendary Merfolk Shaman. Its power and toughness is equal to the number of cards in your hand. You have no maximum hand size, and when she enters the battlefield, draw a card for each creature you control. She is currently a 5/5. Island into play for them. And our last opponent is Kalain, Reclusive Painter, black-red for a legendary 1/2 human elf bard. When it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Other creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on them for each mana from a treasure spent to cast them. Desert of the Fervent into play for them. I had just faced a Marchesa the Black Rose deck. Let me know if this would be a good include. It gives the 1/1 counter, she creates her own treasure, you can kill them for treasures. I think that'd be a nice include. Our turn gives us Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Let's get down the Witch's Cottage, get it into play tapped, and we'll pass it off. Over to the God of Slaughter. So it could be a full-on Punisher deck, it could also just be a black-red deck with stuff in it. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I have faced a couple different versions of Mogis. Ankh of Mishra. When it enters the battlefield under somebody's control, they take 2 damage. Uh-oh. On the bright side, we're not playing landfall. Tishana has a land into play. Ankh will trigger for the first time this game. We'll go ahead and yield. Kior's Follower. Yep. That's pretty standard fare for Simic. Kalain coming down for that player. Our turn gives us Sword of Hearth and Home. I am using the Sword of Hearth and Home and the Sword of Sinew and Steel. Don't know that I'm necessarily going to keep them in here, but I do want to try them out, add some evasion, some extra effects. Play a Demir Signet, pass it off. We have Sun Droplet for Mogis. That's a card I haven't seen in Mogis before. Interesting. To Tishana's turn, Sun Droplet will trigger for the first time this game. Let's go ahead and yield. Kior's Follower to untap the forest. We have Retreat to Kazandu, followed by Landfall, Myriad Landscape. They will gain 2 life with the Retreat. Well, that totally negates the Ankh of Mishra. Kalain's turn, we see a Quicksmith Genius come down. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. We had Strike It Rich, create a treasure token. Quicksmith Genius will trigger for the first time this game. Our turn gives us Snow-Covered Island. Let's go ahead and play it. And then I think let's get down the Shadow Mage Infiltrator, just so we can start some card draw going along here. And we'll pass it off. We have Mogis, God of Slaughter, descending upon the battlefield. To Tishana's turn, Mogis will trigger for the first time this game. Land into play, negating the Ankh. We have Juicy Apprentice. Okay. So another one of those come and go flip cards. 2 blue, tap, draw a card. If you have 9 or more cards in hand, flip it. 3 blue, tap, target player draws X cards, where X is the number of cards you are in your hand. Okay, interesting. Mirrored Landscape gets the crack. 2 lands into play, and a push for damage. Over to Kalain's turn, they take the 2 from Mogis. Tishana also took the 2 from Mogis. We have Deretti Ingenious Iconoclast. 1 black-red for a legendary Planeswalker Dere, 3 loyalty to start. +1, create a 1/1 construct artifact creature token with Defender. They're choosing the -1 though. You may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, destroy target artifact or creature. They destroy the Ankh of Mishra. -6, choose target artifact in a graveyard or an artifact on the battlefield. Create 3 token copies of it. They are also casting Reanimate. It is targeting the Hoarding Ogre. So let's see, what does this do? Roll a d20, create treasure token, 2 treasures or 3 treasures. Yeah, that's pretty good. We have an attack, the Quickie Smith off into Mogis. Damage is good there, down to 36. We take the 2 from Mogis down to 34. We got a snow-covered swamp. Let's go ahead and play an island. And then let's get down the Sword of Hearth and Home. And then we'll equip it and go to attacks. Let's attack into Mogis. Get on that bandwagon, maybe it will protect us for a turn or 2. We have a number of triggers. Let's go ahead and put them onto the stack. We'll choose to blink nothing. We do want to go get a land though, and we get to draw a card. We'll get a swamp. And we get Swifty Boots. Let's pass it off. Mogis at 34. We have a Mind Crank coming down. Uh-oh. To be fair, we do use Mind Crank in this deck along with the Duskmantle Guildmage for that combo, so can't say too much about that. 2 to Tishana's turn. Let's see what they will do with it. First is a landfall trigger. Chorus Follower to untap a land. 7, will it be their commander? Nope, is Nezahal the Primal Tide. 2 Kalain's turn, down to 28 after the Mogis trigger, 4 cards in hand. 4 mana up, could make some more treasure. Just need to roll a d20 when it attacks. Let's see if it will be going anywhere. It is. Quickie Smith is off into Mogis. The Ogre is triggering. Alright, they rolled a 1 through 9. That's 1 treasure. Quick Smith will trigger again. It's Faithless Looting. Ogre is going at Mogis as well. Damage is good. Mogis down to 30. Already during the second main, they get a construct. Quickie Smith will do it again. They decide not to draw and discard this time. Phyrexian Tower into play. We have Hellkite Tyrant. Hope we get some removal right quick. And Goblin Welder. We take 2 from Mogis and will be milled for 2. It's Liliana Specter and Snow-Covered Swamp. Unfortunately, Liliana Specter is one of the good targets for the Sword of Hearth and Home. Sad face. Straight to the attacks. Let's attack into the Kalain player. Now, it does have protection from white and green, but it also has fear. So the only person they could block with is their commander. And they're going to do so. Sad face. Our turn did give us Open into Wonder. I do want to save that for later, though. Let's play a Snow-Covered Swamp. And let's get down some of our flyers, because we're going to need them. It's a Spectre, Hypnotic to be precise. And then Nightveil Spectre. Let's pass it off. So unfortunately, we can't absorb all the damage from the Hellkite Tyrant, even with both Spectres on the battlefield. So that is a little bit worrisome there. Over to Mogis' turn, got some mana tapping. Hopefully it's removal for that Hellkite. It's Siphon Mind, that's a sad face. Let's get rid of, I think, the Swifty Boots. It's the card I need least at the moment. Okay, 3 cards over to Mogis. Everybody else discards 1. Kalain down to no cards in hand. Tishana down to 1, although they do have Nezahal. We are down to 2 and haven't drawn any card draw yet. Mogis to the cleanup step, which means a discard. Let's see what they get rid of. They are still stuck at 4 lands though, which is kind of a sad face. Tishana takes the 2. They will mill 2. Let's see what they get. Reliquary Tower and Rampant Growth. Yeah, I don't think they'll be hurting for those much. Hey, another landfall trigger. Tishana Voice of Thunder coming down for that player. They will draw 4 cards. They're untapping a forest. Followed by Sylvan Library. Yeah, that's pretty good. Although if they take too much life, they'll be milling a lot as well. Let's see if they scoot Nezahal anywhere. Unfortunately, Tishana didn't have much impetus to get rid of the Hellkite. They have no artifacts. Alright, we have the Apprentice off into Mogis. That will be 1 damage. 1 damage is good. Mogis down to 32. Over to Kalain's turn. So the Hellkite's not dealt with. Unfortunately, we didn't draw any removal. And they could steal our Sword of Hearth and Home. I do hope they swing into Mogis with it. My problem with that is we have Sword of X and Y, which is usually a better thing because the Mind Crank isn't too bad right now, and the Sun Droplet isn't too bad right now. And I really don't want to lose our Signet either, but it looks like we are not having much of a choice here. Straight to combat for Kalain. Please don't come at us. It's not coming at us. Whew. We get to keep the sword 1 more time, depending on how useful it is. Hoarding Ogre is also attacking. Let's see what they get on the d20. Alright, they get 2, and Quickie Smith will trigger twice more. So 1 through 9 is the 1 treasure, 10 through 19 is 2, and 20, the critical roll, is 3 treasure tokens. Damage is good. Mogis down to 24. Hellkite Tyrant will trigger. I'm glad they reprinted it. Unfortunately, the one I got in my deck had, I don't know, like some gunk on it. I wasn't too thrilled with the Strixhaven Commander Precon's quality. They get to steal Mindcrank and the Sun Droplet. If Mogis doesn't get a kill spell or land soon, I think they might quit the game depending. Hopefully not, hopefully not. Although it looks like we'll be expending some resources off into the Kalain player. Although Tishana and Simic never to be underestimated. We have Goblin Welder, a treasure for what? It's a trading post. Quickie Smith Genius does the thing. They do not discard. Second main is Kalain. Kalain brings a bauble. Treasure stacking for a Nettle Cyst. Living Weapon. Equipped creature gets 1/1 for each artifact and/or enchantment you control. Uh-oh. To our turn, hopefully we draw something like a board wipe. I would be fine with it at this point. We take 2 from Mogis. We get to mill 2 cards. Whoopee. And it's Reconnaissance. Damn, could have used that card draw. We get Dismal Backwater. Not the best, but a life is a life. Let's go ahead and play it. Alright, let's go ahead and get the pitch ready. Open into Wonder. We'll select all 3 of our creatures here, make them unblockable, and allow them to draw some cards. Nezahal Primal Tide will trigger. Expending resources against Kalain is going to leave us at a detriment against Tishana, and because we didn't get that Reconnaissance, a sad face, we are not going to be able to draw too many extra cards unless we run to Biden of Thassa. Let's go ahead and attack people. Nightveil Specter off into Kalain. Actually, we'll just do one of each. Why not? Nothing really flies. Get some discard and draw going all over the place. 1 to each. So Shadow Mage off into Mogis, the Nightveil Specter off into Kalain, and Hypnotic off into Tishana. We have a number of triggers. Let's go ahead and stack them out. We'll go ahead and blink out the Hypnotic Specter and go get a land. It'll come back into play immediately with the land. We need a blocker after all. Mindcrank triggers. Let's see what they mill. Swamp and Mountain for Mogis. I feel kind of bad now. Commencement and Consecrated Sphinx for Tishana. Not feeling bad about that. We'll go ahead and get a Snow-Covered Island. Spectre back in. Well of Ideas gets discarded randomly from Tishana's hand. Let's see what Kalain gives us. It's a mountain. We draw a card thanks to the Shadow Mage's innate ability, and then we'll draw 3 more cards. We get 2 lands, Vargoth Bloodsky Sire and In Garrick's Wake. Oh, if we could do In Garrick's Wake right now, but that is just not happening. Let's go ahead and summon our commander, I suppose, and we'll pass it off. I do want to save the Bloodsky Sire because it can tutor on the attack and put something on top. Over to Mogis' turn. They were just saying in chat they wonder where all their lands and creatures are. I wonder the same thing. Hey, a swamp into play though, because I want them to get back into the game and have it be a 4-man free-for-all, if you will. Yeah, because otherwise it's just kind of sitting there, although sometimes you can win that way if you're just left alone. They do have 7 cards in hand, so they do have options for something. We have Outpost Siege. At least that's some quasi-card draw for him. That'll work out. It's one of those times in the game where I can wish I could help out an opponent just to kind of nudge them along into the game. When I come to play Magic, I want everyone to be able to play. I'm not like going to king make somebody if I don't have to. But, you know, it's just, I don't know, that's just me. You can let me know in the comments if you feel the same way some days. I know competitively, if there's prizes on the line, that's not something you're going to do necessarily, but if I'm playing just a casual sit-down game, I'll give you an extra land or something with Pier's Whim, I don't care. Sylvan the Library will trigger for the first time this game. Let's go ahead and yield to it. Tishana's turn, by the way. Simic Growth Chamber in play, they'll have to bounce another land. Will they tap mana in response? They do not, they return an island. Tishana on the attack alone. It's off into us. That is a majorly sad face. Let's use our commander, I suppose. We'll put our commander back in the command zone. I do like 2-drop commanders in that they are 2 drops. Let's see if they do anything in the second main. The commander on commander violence has ceased. They do not with 7 mana up, possible Psych Rift. Okay. We have an end turn response from Kalain, it looks like. Trading post being activated. Mindcrank is getting traded for a card. Over to Kalain's turn, bringing himself back up to 26 with the Sun Droplet. 2 cards in hand, 1 from the trading post previously, 1 card drawn for turn. Still a Hellkite Tyrant over there. Not my favorite. At this point, even dropping a Dockside wouldn't be that good for him, but anywhere getting close to the Hellkite Tyrant's alternate win condition is going to be, you know, not the greatest. Plus, it's a 6/5 flyer. They go straight to the attacks, hopefully not into us. Although it doesn't look like Mogis is much of a threat anymore, that's just like the vibe I'm getting. But we'll have to wait and see. There are the attacks. Hoarding Ogre will trigger. I do believe they're both coming at us, which is unfortunate. Had to be the sword eventually. Yep, they're both coming at us. We will not block. We might as well keep the advantage of having people discard cards, even though the card draw is outpacing us so far. That's the one thing I don't really like about the Specters, is one, most of them are on hit, which is the inspiration for the deck, but two, they only discard one card at a time, except for I think like 1 or 2 of them, and they're 6 drops. So, I mean, not the best tribe ever if you can consider it a tribe. We're down to 22, they steal our stuff. They're going to have to re-equip the sword though. We have Rakdos Signet coming down. Tishana gets to draw another card thanks to Nezahal. Quickie Smith will do the things. They discard Unexpected Windfall. Durati Scrap Savant coming down. They say if you travel far enough, eventually you'll meet yourself. Let's see what they do. They could trade our sword for something. That would be somewhat problematic. Nothing to get back though. So, interesting. They'll create a Koa's construct with the other Durati. They are re-equipping the sword. Sad face. I was hoping they had forgotten. It is equipped to Kalain. They'll discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Unfortunately, that means they still get 0 cards. We take 2 more from Mogis. We're down to 20. There's Mystic Remora. Could have used that earlier. Well, let's play a Swamp. And then let's immediately go for the Garrick Waking. With any luck, Tishana will see not to counter this. We'll have to wait and see, though. Yeah, it looks like they are counterspell. Well, that's unfortunate for us. Looks like we're not long for the world. Let's go ahead and get some card draw off of them, then. We'll also throw Nightvale Spectre in there, just to get something exiled off the top. Course Follower's untapping Simic Growth Chamber. And is it a Cycriff? It is. That's unfortunate. We have to discard 2 cards from our hand. Let's get rid of the Eldest Reborn. Usually I like that card. Right now it's being kinda slow, so it's not my favorite. And we'll get rid of the Dimir Signet. Save the mana for later. We do have a land in play to play next turn. Over to Mogis, Swamp into play. Unfortunately, we're all pretty low on life, so Tishana might win the game here pretty quick. Depends what we can get out. This deck isn't exactly defensive in any way. Might need to add some Pillow Fort effects. We have Manalith coming down. Price of Glory. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, if it's not that player's turn, destroy that land. I wish that had been around for Counterspell, but what can you do? Mogis was behind most of the game. To Tishana's turn. The only person they can kill off right now is us. I'm hoping they don't do that, but we'll have to wait and see. Rending Vines, destroy an artifact or enchantment. Price of Glory hits the bin. A landfall trigger. Course Follower untapping some land, getting some more mana going. It's Miltani Merrill Sorcerer. How big is that? 13-13? 33-33, my mistake. Yeah, I forgot that counts all the lands on the battlefield. Oh, thankfully it doesn't have haste. But here come the attacks. Alright, one to us, Nezahal. Tishana off into Kalain. We are down to 13 Kalain, down to 18, up to 9 Commander. 2 Kalain's turn, they have a Bog. They are targeting the Tishana player. Yeah, that works for me. It's Rakdos Signet coming back down. Kalain, Reclusive Painter, Kalain returning to the battlefield for that player. They get a treasure. It's Quickie Smith. To our turn, we get Duskmetal Guildmage. Yeah, it could be good. I don't know how it would help us right now, though. Let's play a Snow-Covered Swamp. Get down Mystic Remora. Draw all the cards until we can get to some removal. Get down Vargroth the Bloodsire because it has Death Touch. Then let's get down the Shadow Mage Infiltrator and the Nightvale Spectre. At least we have some blockers, one with Death Touch and Flyers. Let's go ahead and pass it off. Shadow Mage I just want down so we can start drawing even more cards. Over to Mogis' turn, land into play, 7 cards in hand. Hopefully they have an answer for things. It's Mogis, God of Slaughter. Unfortunately that's not terribly helpful. Outpost Siege coming back down. Alright, well at least we get to draw a card. We get Rapid Hybridization. Too bad Miltani has Shroud built in. Tishana at the end step with an activation. Juicy Apprentice, draw a card, then if you have more cards, it gets to flip, and it does so. So now it is 3 blue, target player draws X cards, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Oh, by the way, the more of is 9, just to go over that again. That's how it flips over. Landfall trigger for Tishana. Tishana straight to attacks, 13 cards in hand, tons of mana, and big boys. Not my favorite. Let's see where everything's going. Nothing coming at us. Miltani is going to kill Mogis off, and then we have Tishana herself and Nezahal off into Kalain. If Kalain doesn't block anything, they are also dead. And then we have to deal with Tishana ourselves. Not looking that great. And both of our opponents go down. That is a sad face. So, second main phase for Tishana. Let's see if they can help close it out right now. Otherwise, we can maybe buy ourselves a turn, but I sincerely doubt it. Alright, they are just passing it off. Probably instant speed reaction in the hand. Mr. Remora, do we want to keep it up? We probably do. Let's go ahead and pay for the cost. Card for turn is Conjurer's Closet. Yep, that's not terribly helpful. Let's go to attacks and see what we can do. We have 1 black for blocking and attack. Boast is now active. So let's go ahead and boast. It looks like we're going to have to get Deadly Tempest. We don't have enough snow permanents to use Dead of Winter. We have combat damage there down to 33. Okay, let's go ahead and draw that card. We get the Deadly Tempest. The odds of this stabilizing the board for us are fairly low because they can just resummon a lot of things. However, it might buy us another turn to do something. Although I fully expect some counter magic, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's go for it. Nezahal draws a card. And the response is counter magic? Arcane Denial. Yes, it is. Alright, let's just go ahead and try to blow something up here. Let's go for their commander. They'll get to draw yet another card. And they have yet another counter spell, sad face. We draw a card, it's Scythe Specter. I think this one does each opponent. Yeah. So this is probably the better Specter you can have. That's not saying much though. And then we get Fell Specter. This one enters the battlefield, target opponent discards a card. And then whenever they do, it does the life loss like my Grim, except life loss instead of damage. One of the few blinking targets we have in the deck would have been good earlier. And everything gets countered, let's pass it off. And yeah, we are probably pretty dead. 2 Tishana's upkeep, we get to draw 2 cards. We get Mindcrank and Abyssal Specter. Oh man, that sucks. Assuming no counter magic, of course, which I'm sure there's plenty. We were 1 turn away from winning, technically. Oh well, what can you do? Alright, we have some attacks. We can only block one of them. So yeah, that's pretty lethal. Let's just not block. Nightveil Specter gets to fly away to haunt somebody else in their dreams, and we will die. There we go, negative 32, victory to our opponent. Let's see, I think I'm going to give it to Mogis just because they stayed in the game. That's always something I enjoy because people quitting is a big problem on Magic Online, and I would prefer people try to play it out. It's just a personal preference. And there it is, 3 to the opponent, 1 to us, and our vote off into the Mogis player. Okay, Spectre Tribal. Not the best, but it's kind of fun with the tug and pull. Deck needs some upgrades though, let's go take a look. Okay, here's the deck. You will notice over here 36 lands. There are actually 38, we just have Glasspool Mimic and Hagra Mauling also in the deck. As far as the deck goes, sort of Hearth and Home did do work, it did get us some lands, and that's always good because we do need a lot of lands for some different things, but not necessarily all the lands. I'm still testing out the 2 swords here, Hearth and Home and the Sword of Sinew and Steel. I don't know that I necessarily like them. It is an on-hit attack kind of deck, but I think trading these out for something like Propaganda to help protect us a little bit better would actually be better, so I'm probably going to take them out. Other than that, Shadowmage Infiltrator doing some solid work. No matter how old the formats get, how many new cards are introduced, being able to draw a card and hit somebody is always pretty good. Unfortunately, we ran also a lot of counter magic. Might need to consider some of that for ourselves, although I didn't really want to rely on any counter magic for this game. Also might need to add some more card draw. We only saw really Mystic Remora, and we do have things like Biden of Thassa. We saw Reconnaissance Mission get milled into our graveyard. We have Nezahal, got Sign in Blood, got Erebos. There's not really too much. We probably want to up that a little bit just so we can get some more gas going. But as for the Specters, we do have Silent Spectre, which has people discard 2 cards. It can also morph, so that's interesting. The Scythe Spectre we saw, Fell Spectre, and Abyssal Spectre over here at the 4 drops. We also have Blizzard Spectre. When I was first testing the deck, I got this like every game, and I was starting to question the algorithm. Simian Spectre. This one's interesting in that you can choose an online card from their hand and have them discard it. Although I put it in the deck because it can also get rid of those Dragon Approach style decks or the Relentless Rats type of decks. So I think this one, in the right situation, can be very good. We have Whispering Spectre. This one has Infect. Infect's not a big thing in the deck, but it's flying, it's a Spectre, and it can make people discard something. Plus, if for some reason it's left alone, I guess it could win a game. There's always that. And then we have Liliana Spectre. We saw Hypnotic Spectre. This one enters the battlefield, everybody discards a card. That's probably one of the better Specters because you don't actually have to attack. And that's really it for the Specters. We do have more on-hit attacks. Thief of Sanity is also a Spectre, forgot to mention that one. Some of them stealing effects like Rexiel the Risen Deep here. Steal somebody's stuff from the graveyard. And Virtus the Veiled. I was thinking of maybe adding like Scythe Claw to the deck, just to have an extra one of these kind of effects. Just jab somebody out of nowhere. Could potentially be good against life gain decks. Don't know what I'm going to do with it though. We do also have Hot Soup for some evasion. Probably going to take that out since a lot of stuff flies and put in something else. Anyway, that's the deck so far. Going to make some tweaks and changes. Going to need a little bit more pill for it, maybe some more card draw. Really get things going. And something potentially to recur our creatures en masse, depending on what we do here. We do have the one and only counterspell in our deck, Soul Manipulation, as a kind of recursion, as amongst other effects. So might include some more counter magic. In case you saw any cards you want to buy for yourself in paper sealed product or sleeves or accessories to protect all of that glory, please consider using the TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. It helps out the channel and doesn't cost you anything extra. On to the next game for Krydle, hopefully doing a little bit better next time. This game wasn't terrible, but it definitely showed some weaknesses in Spectre as a tribe, if you will, since there's only like 12 or something. Yeah, needs some work. Although, I've always wanted to play a little bit around discard. Anyway, before anyone asks, I'm not into the tear grid kind of thing, even though that's a really powerful effect, so I won't be using that in the deck. I want to play casually and not make people suffer that much. But if you do build this deck, tear grid could potentially be very good, but it's probably better in its own deck. In either case, I'll see you for the next game. Stay safe out there.